Shalom, my name is Sarah from Ancient Biblical Oils and Ancient Biblical Healing. So around about 2010, I read this text in Corinthians with regards to head coverings, and interestingly, there is no command in Moses' writing, which is the covenant code. So this is a cultural understanding, and maybe a social law, or it's definitely highly spiritually charged. But and the writer of this text is the most controversial writer of the scriptures. And even of the time, any discussions around the scriptures, his writings always come up and become part of a discussion and part of an argument. And I've been part of many of those discussions and seldom take part, but always present. So I have the opportunity to just listen. But he just says it as it is. He says it's improper for a woman to pray and prophesy with her head uncovered. And for me, it just dropped in my spirit, and I said, okay. And in 2010, I began to wear a head covering, more specifically for prayer and for reading. Just for prayer. And then I discovered that, well, if I'm reading the scripture, I'm actually praying and prophesying, because you can be reading something written, King David's writing, however, it's so many thousands of years in the past, you're reading it in the present, but it's actually a story about the future or the kingdom or the Messiah. And I quickly understood that if you're holding the scriptures and you're reading prophecy. So then I began to wear head covering while praying and reading and singing. And then I'm sure you all do the same. You continuously praying along the way. You see somebody, you pray for that person. Or in your heart, you'll be praying for someone when you see suffering. Or for yourself, if you're in a predicament, you'll immediately cry out, Adonai, please, can you just help me with this thing? And I began to wear a scarf around my neck all the time, and the whole day swishing this scarf on, off, which was it's really a privilege, it's an honor, it's a secret, it's a tool, it's a weapon, because you can be in a crowded place, in a mall, there's thousands of people, and you can quickly switch out of that situation, switch in to a place of a secret place and ask something or receive something that you need in that moment. And but it was so then I was wearing the scarf around my neck all the time, on, off. And then I decided just for myself, I was in a bit of a difficult place 6 years ago with my health. And I just felt like I needed to gather my thoughts or to bind my thoughts together. And I just thought I would do a 30-day challenge. Now, in hindsight, we've already touched on what hair means, and its thought and its gait and its fear related. It's related to all those words. And in our current teaching, which is prayer and meditation, you will see Daniel goes into head coverings from a spiritual perspective, the meaning of a turban and the meaning of a head covering. It is really a secret and a tool and a weapon and a place of meeting that we need to start using now, and it's going to be very beneficial for the future. And that has been my experience. So now I currently wear a head covering most of the time. Sometimes when I'm at home and it's just Daniel, here a lot of the time when I'm at home and like 4:00 and the shop closes and everyone goes home and I'm at home with the children and Daniel, then I would take my head covering off unless I'm going to go pray and read. But kind of between that time, 4 to 7, I'm not wearing it. I'm at home. And however, I've had also interesting experiences where we're transitioning into that day. It's 5 o'clock, everyone must eat and bath and change, and you get some sticky moments, and Daniel and I will talk about something and with regard to the children and homeschooling and just normal life. And you can see in the discussions that the conversation's escalating. And I already know now, I know where my cutoff points are. I know when to just stop, walk away, say sorry. Even if he's wrong, most of the time he's wrong. He'll always laugh when I say, you're always wrong. But anyway. And I will say, excuse me, just excuse me 1 minute. And I run quickly and I get my scarf or my turban or anything, put it on, I come back to the conversation. It completely changes the way that I hear that what he's saying, therefore it changes the way that I respond, therefore the whole atmosphere and the conversation changes, and I'm in control of my thoughts to bring about good. Whereas a lot of the time when my head covering's off, my thoughts are out of control and don't bring about good. So again, it's just something that happened along my journey, something that just dropped in my spirit again, part of my Chayei story. And there were three major things that I wanted to speak about in this series, which was the captive woman, the ritual purity, and the head covering. And I hope that you have been encouraged. It's Shabbat today, so Shabbat Shalom. It is a very, very special day spiritually and physically. It is a day of open gates. The text where I'm not so much a scholar, so I can't give all the text, but I can ask for Daniel for them or find them, and I'll post them in the group. But Shabbat is a day of open gates, open heaven, meaning you have this understanding when Yaakov laid down the stone that he slept on, and then he poured oil on in the morning, and he said, surely this is the place of Elohim. And then we have this understanding of Jacob's ladder, where the angels came down and were taking messages up and down from earth to heaven, or from him to heaven. Today's the day where that gate or Jacob's ladder is opened. So my prayer is that all our prayers to be set free, that you may set the captives free, that more specifically around the captive woman, that Adonai may remove the pain of the past and establish a new way from today, going forward in each and every one of you. Blessings for the rest of your day.